What a delightfully pleasant way to spend the autumn afternoon. Later on today, I believe I'll go do some shopping at market before heading over to see Lady Victoria for some crumpets. Then I think there'll just be enough time for me to head back home and retrieve the axe from under my bed and head over to the local orphanage and slaughter all the hapless children as they watch mindlessly. Then I think I'll take their dismembered organs and limbs and hide them in strategic places all over town, perhaps in a fountain of some such, leaving a trail of clues of my bloody carnage. I think I'll then head to the church steeple, which I'll get a good airtight view of the entire town, and watch the hapless villagers and policemen search for my ghastly, ghastly deeds that I've come to sin upon God. Sorry about that. I got a little carried away there, you know. It's the spirit of the holiday, you know. Welcome, everyone, to Tekking101's 13 Nights of Hollows-ween. Yes, for the next 13 days until October 31st, I, the Master Macabre Tekking101, will be reviewing one particular anime or manga that has to deal with either Halloween, or has a lot of gore, or is just plain creepy. And the manga that we're going to kick off this whole shebang is certainly one of the latter. Yana Taboso's Black Butler. Black Butler is an interesting series, is that it's sort of on the precipice between a shonen series and a seinen series. I hesitate to call it one or the other because in the series there's some parts that really legitimately seem something out of shonen, very comedic or very aimed for a teenage audience, and then other stuff, yeah, kind of adult. So you could say it's pseudo-seinen, pseudo-shonen, whichever, but the fact of the matter is the series has a very jarring comparisons between one side and the other, and they both work. I mean, whenever they show a scene that's either very comedic or very lighthearted, you genuinely believe it. On the other hand, when something really fucked up happens, you believe that as well. To start with the plot, basically we have this boy named Ciel Phantom Hive, which, by the way, wins the prize for having the most awesome English last name in recorded history. Phantom Hive. I would sell my soul to the devil to have that awesome name. Oh shit, did that just happen? Crap. Okay, well, whatever. Hi everybody, I'm Matthew Phantom Hive. How are you doing today? Anyway, Ciel's had a bit of a troubling childhood, to say the least. His entire family, which is somewhat of royalty and served the queen, ended up getting burned down along with his manners, so he's kind of an orphan. But it's okay, though, because he makes a deal with a demon known as Sebastian Mikos to come to the living world and serve him as his butler, under the condition that eventually he'll be able to take his soul. And going along with all the trends that, hey, at least demons know how to keep their damn promises, Sebastian Mikos is indeed one hell of a butler to Ciel, serving him with the utmost loyalty. No matter what it is, if he wants a scone for lunch, or if he gets kidnapped and he has to go and fight off an entire gangster mob getting shot multiple times, yeah, Sebastian's got this. The series takes place in Victoria-era London, which, right away, if you know anything about Victoria-era London, or the movies and TV shows that center around that kind of time period, you'll know it's not very hard to make that entire area creepy. Just throw some fog on an old London street, and there you go. Speaking of which, there's certain parallels in real life that also affect the manga as well, such as Jack the Ripper. Not gonna go into that, though, because when you get to that story arc, prepare to be surprised. Along with Ciel and Sebastian, there's also some very other interesting side characters that also work at the manor. Not going too much into them, but as far as side characters go, they do a pretty good job. They're basically the comic relief of the entire series, although Sebastian does have a sort of dry humor about him that actually kind of works too. Now, in my personal opinion, and from the people that I've talked to over the internet and even in real life, Black Butler is more of a girls-type manga. I'm not saying that a bad way, considering I just compared it with shonen and seinen, which are definitely boys-type era. I'm simply saying that, well, most of the girls I've discussed about this love freaking Sebastian with a fangirly passion that burns with 1,000 suns, but that doesn't mean it's not for guys, because I've seen the entire anime, as well as a majority of the chapters, and I can say I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I did find kind of difficult keeping pace at times. I did have to go away and come back to it. I couldn't marathon it in one setting, so keep that in mind if you want to see it. Aside from that, in terms of manga and anime differences, this is interesting, because this one is, you know, usually whenever you take an anime adaptation of a manga that's yet to finish, and you want to finish the anime, such as Soul Eater or the Gantz, believe me, we'll get to that later down the list, you have to either give it an anime ending. So the majority of the anime is similar to the manga up until the very end when you have to adapt it because, of course, the manga isn't over yet. Black Butler's very interesting. I'm not going to give too much away, but read the first chapter of Black Butler and then immediately go and watch the first episode of Black Butler in the anime. It's subbed and dubbed, by the way. Though the first episode is just explicitly the first chapter, but the endings are completely different. Not going to give too much away, but one is extremely creepy, and the other one kind of makes you think if this anime is just going to be a slice-of-life Victorian-era setting manga, or if it's actually going to go into anything supernatural. I certainly like the manga more for that reason, that you kind of have guessings, like, is there anything going to happen here? Is this just the story about a regular butler, or is this going to go somewhere beyond that? Because, yeah, there's a bit of a jarring in the other adaptation. It's a little bit more direct of where this series is going to go. And as for Season 2 of the anime, I redirect you back to my fangirl statement earlier. So that is the series of Black Butler, and as I'm going to do for every one of these animes or mangas on this list, I'm going to be introducing something new known as the Gorometer! Yes, so the Gorometer will be ranked from 0, represented by Fluttershy over here. Isn't she just adorable? I love her. She is my favorite pony, in case you were curious. I love you, Fluttershy. Going over to Stephen King. Well, Stephen King's a pretty good, he's creepy. I'm going to say he's creepy, but that's why he's at the #1 slot. I mean, then again, there's not a lot of Stephen King movies that really have a shit ton of blood. And don't quote the scene in The Shining with the blood coming out of the elevator, because Stephen King himself said he didn't like that movie. So, moving on, we also have Hannibal Lecter here at #2, Jason Voorhees #3, we got Jigsaw #4, and Ares, the God of War, as #5. Yeah, that's like a gore fest at that point. So, rating that from Black Butler, as I said earlier, it's not really a gory series so much as it is a creepy series. That's what really drives it. There is blood, but it's not nearly as much as in the other series we're getting on this list. So I'm going to rank Black Butler in terms of creepiness, or in terms of gore, as a #1 Stephen King level. So, you know, if you enjoy just a general creepy atmosphere of a manga or anime, this is the one for you. And if you're a girl, I guess you'll definitely enjoy it. If not, Sebastian Michaels is apparently a dreamboat. Have fun with him. The last thing I want to do before I close out this episode is thank Nolegshay for the recommendation of the title of this series. As I stated before, I had a little bit of a contest to see who would have a good title for this series, because it was originally called 13 Nights of Horror, but I didn't think that was that original. I got a lot of good responses. A lot of people sent me in ones that, bless your hearts for this too, but a lot of people sent me in ones that were making a pun on the Gote 13, because I'm the Bleach guy, so congratulations for that. Some of them were pretty good. There was another one that sent me in one, I think it was called Triskaidekaphobia, which can literally translate to 13 Nights of the Fears, and that was sent me in by Maple Color, I believe, and that one was, I was gonna go with that. I really considered that, and then at the end of the day, I'm just like, I could use that as the title, I would love to, but every episode I'd be getting people asking me, what's the title mean? What's the title mean? And yeah, that'd be a little bit more confusing, but thanks for your creativity, that was pretty good. So I decided to go with Nolegshay recommendation of, I think I had to tweak his a little bit. I think it was, I think the 13 Horrors of Hollows-ween, because Bleach, Hollows, get it? I tweaked it to just 13 Nights of Hollows-ween. So congratulations, Nolegshay, you received the shout out. Even though I kind of gave Maple Colors a shout-out as well. Whatever, you both deserve shout-outs. You're both awesome. I just spilled my tea. Sebastian!